The Broadcom acquisition has fundamentally shifted the math for people using VMware. What used to be a predictable standard has turned into a source of budget volatility and licensing complexity. If you're a business leader or sysadmin tasked with finding a stable, long-term alternative, you aren't just looking for a hypervisor. You're looking for a platform that won't leave you in this exact same position 3 years from now. Today, we're looking at Proxmox and XCP-ng from a business perspective, total cost of ownership, support reliability, and why open source can be a risk mitigation strategy. Before we get started, let's hear a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Meter, the company bringing you full stack networks from the ground up. Meter delivers a complete networking stack, wired, wireless, and cellular, all in one integrated solution. They design the hardware, they write the firmware, and they build software that can handle, deploy, and run support. For network engineers, that means deep control, real visibility, and fewer fragmented tools, without juggling multiple vendors or inflexible legacy providers. Whether it's a branch office, warehouse, campus, or data center, Meter is built to scale, and Meter is built for uptime. Thanks to Meter for sponsoring this video. Go to meter.com/LawrenceSystems to book a demo now. That's meter.com/LawrenceSystems to book a demo today. When looking for a VMware exit strategy, the temptation is to jump to another established proprietary name like Nutanix or Scale Computing. However, from a business continuity standpoint, this is a lateral move. Choosing a closed source alternative to VMware is simply resetting the clock on the next acquisition-driven price hike. This is why I'm disregarding proprietary stacks in this discussion, because open source core infrastructure is the only real hedge against vendor lock-in. There's also frequent talk about tools such as Red Hat OpenShift as a replacement. While OpenShift is a powerful platform, it is not a drop-in VMware replacement. OpenShift is an application modernization platform centered around Kubernetes. While it can run virtual machines via KubeVirt, the management philosophy and overhead are vastly different. OpenShift is for organizations moving towards a cloud-native future. Proxmox and XCP-ng are for the foundational virtual machine workloads that businesses rely on today. In the open source hypervisor space, Proxmox and XCP-ng are the two primary contenders, but they come from different worlds. Proxmox is the undisputed king of the Homelab. This has immense business value because it creates organic, self-trained talent pools. Finding a tech who already knows Proxmox is becoming increasingly easy. On the other hand, XCP-ng carries a deep enterprise lineage. It is a fork of the Citrix Zen server maintained by Vates, while Proxmox leverages a massive community-driven talent pool and the power of KVM. XCP-ng carries the battle-tested architecture and legacy of the Zen project, which has powered massive cloud environments for decades. Now let's talk backups. A major hurdle for any hypervisor adoption is backup integration. Recently, Veeam recognized the shift in the market and has begun offering integrations for both Proxmox and XCP-ng. It is important to note that these are early stage release integrations, but their existence validates that both platforms are popular enterprise plays, regardless of which one you choose. The fact that the industry standard tools like Veeam are moving into the space lowers the risk for any business making the switch. Now let's talk total cost of ownership, where management efficiency is a big deciding factor. XCP-ng achieves a low TCO through deep integration with the Vates Zen Orchestra or XO management control plane. XO provides a single pane of glass for management, backups, automated disaster recovery testing, and is similar to VMware vCenter. Proxmox has a more modular approach. You have Proxmox VE for compute, Proxmox Backup Server for backups, and the newer Proxmox Data Center Manager for multi-cluster management. While powerful, this requires managing and updating multiple distinct tools and interfaces to achieve the same functional parity with what XCP-ng offers with a more unified stack. Another big consideration is operational overhead caused by the way these two platforms handle updates. Proxmox is essentially Debian with a Proxmox kernel and a web UI. Because it's its own full-blown OS, you have the flexibility and the danger of installing any third-party Debian packages you want directly on the host. This makes it a powerful Swiss Army knife, but also increases the complexity of the update cycle as you are now managing a general-purpose Linux system. XCP-ng uses a minimal purpose-built DOM0 management domain. It is not intended for you to install arbitrary software on that host. The updates are delivered as a synchronized stack from Vates, where the Zen hypervisor and the Linux kernel and the management API are all validated to work together as a single unit. With all the updates coming from and managed by just the team at Vates, no other third parties are integrated. But what about support? This is where the two products diverge significantly. Bates, the company behind XCP-ng, offers professional-grade support with strict SLA response times and a good-sized dedicated engineering team. Proxmox offers support via their subscription tiers, but the support model doesn't currently offer the same level of guaranteed SLA response time that many corporate compliance departments may require. For the business where downtime is measured in thousands of dollars per minute, Bates provides the contractually obligated depth that a community-centric model may lack. Some final thoughts here. Both Proxmox and XCP-ng are valid production-ready solutions. Proxmox is the flexible module powerhouse backed by a massive community, and XCP-ng is really that purpose-built enterprise platform designed to mirror VMware's management workflows with a focus on unified tools and high-end level support. The choice really comes down to your internal team's skill set and your requirement for formal support guarantees. I'm confident in the ability of either of these to run production workloads, but let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite. Thanks for watching. You can find me over in the forums, or you can connect me over on the socials at lawrencesystems.com. Thanks.